My name is Donna Darcy. I'm gonna put it right here. And I'm gonna be like your big sister, your bestie, internet bestie, whatever you wanna call me. Today, this is the third day of the 14 days of self-love. Self-love is about accountability, it's about vulnerability, it's about getting out of the victim mentality. So it's about creating new standards for yourself. It's about allowing yourself to be uncomfortable enough to grow, because what's a little growth without uncomfortability, you know? So first things first is knowing what our worth is. So I honestly think that we choose people, and whether that be romantic or friendships, we choose people based off what we feel we deserve. Sometimes we don't know what we deserve. Starting off, what are your morals? What are your values? Your morals and values are what do you believe in? What do you believe is right and what's wrong? I think a lot of times we can be double-minded when it comes to things. Like, I think if you're also a people pleaser or recovering people pleaser, you tend to feel guilty about making decisions that center you instead of centering other people, and you feel a sense of shame, really. Like, why do I feel guilty for putting myself first? Um, an example of people pleasing could be, you say that you want to try this new hairstyle, and somebody else is like, oh no, that's ugly. And then it's like, now all of a sudden you don't want to do it because they don't agree with that. Or, it's a lot like peer pressure. You say you don't want to drink, and then somebody's like, nah, go ahead and do it. Like, you scared. And it's just like, all right, I'm going to do it, y'all. And it's just like, no, learn the art of saying no. Know what you like, know what you don't like. I think how you dress and how you appear to the world gives off what you feel about yourself. If you're always dressing like a slob, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't care about yourself, but it just means that you probably don't really care about the aesthetics. You probably don't care about pleasing other people, which is good. However, it's like, I see a lot of things like, and even for myself, and this is how I'm able to like tell you these things. Back then, I wish I had pictures of this stuff, but like back then I dressed like a tomboy, always wearing sweatpants and baggy shirts, and not really working out for real, not really pampering myself, or and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wear makeup or any of those things, but like, dress it up, you can still be casual and cute, you can still be pretty without wearing a dress, because I don't like wearing dresses all the time, but it's just like, make yourself look good. Like, when you look good, you feel confident, can't nobody tell you nothing, and that's how it's supposed to be. I think that a lot of it, I think when you make excuses for yourself, oh, I got this going on, so this is why I can't work out. It's like, literally just going out to walk could make a big difference on how you feel mentally. Like, it's not just a look thing, it's a mental thing. Your body, and first of all, your brain releases endorphins. So like, that's why it's so important to, feel good and move your body. I think also what we're going to transition into is personality. Like, what are your hobbies? Like, what do you like to do outside of what's comfortable to you? It's okay to try new things. So if you notice the outfit change, it's a new day, and we are going to hop right back into it. So I'm going to put the definition of accountability right here. You have to be responsible for what you allow. You have to be intentional about the things that you partake in, whether that be romantic relationships or platonic relationships. Knowing exactly what you want out of things, and not changing your mind because somebody else doesn't want the same things. or thinking that, or trying to develop a savior mentality. You are not the Messiah. You are not God. So you cannot change anybody. People change for who they want to change for. People change for themselves. And people are changing their minds every day. The most important thing that you need to know is what exactly do you want and how are you going to get it. If you want to change how you look, you need to get in the gym. You need to change your diet. You need to intake more water and start making excuses. Oh, I can't do it because of this. Oh, I can't do it because of that. You are literally making excuses. If you want to start getting up early in the morning, and this is something that I'm actively working on, do not snooze the alarm button. Do not say, oh, let me get 5 more minutes of sleep, because that 5 minutes turns into a whole nother hour. And honestly, I feel like you will feel way more productive if you get up really early in the morning rather than lounging around, slouching. Like, you literally need vitamin D to make you feel better. Sitting in a room all day and being a couch potato or a bed potato is not going to get you to where you want to go and where you want to be. Somebody got to tell y'all. I also think that we have to stop with a part of being in the victim mentality is never taking accountability for your wrongs and your faults. It's always blaming other people for why things aren't happening. It's always making excuses as to why something hasn't worked out in your life, and the whole time you're not even trying. But for real, clock it. Okay. Anyway, also, it's how, and I have my notes right here, so that's why I'm looking, because it keeps me on track. But what do you need in order to be fulfilled on a daily basis? You also need to learn how to have some self-compassion. Stop talking negatively to yourself. Stop saying that you can't do something, and you need to learn how to challenge limiting beliefs. Like, if you say you want to learn how to sing, and then there's part of your brain that's saying, oh, I can't do it. You don't know, and you haven't tried because you fear that you could be good. You fear that you might fail. You may sound like shit. I'm not going to lie. But you won't know that until you try. So some steps if you want to learn how to sing, some steps would be looking up vocal warm-ups and routines to get better, looking at other performers to see how they do certain things, and training your body to adjust to what you're trying to actively do now. If we're talking on a romantic sense, why are you walking into a situation knowing that you want to be in a relationship and allowing yourself to entertain someone who clearly has stated that they don't want a relationship? Why? It goes back to, you cannot acquire something from someone when you haven't gotten it yourself. So my thing used to be, oh, I want somebody, like, if I have a car, he has to have a car. If I have a job, he has to have a job. If I have my own place, he has to have his own place. Or be actively working towards those things. Like, if you have a car and you're working on getting your own place, that's fine. And I know what the economic crisis that we're living in right now looks like, but you don't need to be with no bum. Like, you need to have somebody who's ambitious and knows what they want. And if they don't, it's because, and you're still entertaining them, it's because you don't know what you want either. And I feel as though people who don't know what they want are afraid of people who do know what they want. If anybody's sending you mixed signals, if you're getting confusion, if you're getting confused while dealing with this person, you need to not be in that situation. You need to remove yourself until you see fit that and it's okay to give people certain grace. Like, grace does plays a factor, but stop waiting on something to change and you know that it's not. Like, people have patterns. Pay attention to the patterns. Friendship wise, depending on what type of friend that you are and what you want, if you are a low maintenance person, and now we're going to get into how to set boundaries. So If you know that, like me, I don't have to talk to my friends every single day. I do need to talk to them frequently, like maybe twice a week, if so, or however many times you want to do that. This is just me because I get overstimulated and I need my space, and I communicate that. Do not blow up my phone. If my phone is on do not disturb, do not hit notify anyway. Like, respect. If my phone is on do not disturb, then don't bother me. If it's off do not disturb, then you know, and even then, it's still text me before you call me, because you never know what I'm doing, and I don't know what you're doing. So I'm gonna make sure, and always make sure that you ask people, like, what boundaries do you have that you would like for me to respect, so that I'm not stepping on any toes. If we're talking about physical boundaries, I don't like people hugging up all on me, for real. Like, don't do that. If I haven't given you like the open invitation to do that, please don't do that. And I make sure that I advocate for myself, which is something that's very important. You have to learn how to advocate for yourself, because people are not going to know how to treat you. Like, people don't know how to treat you for the most part. Like, now respect is one thing, but like actively trying to get somebody, like, don't talk to me like that, don't yell at me. Like, the men in my family don't yell at me, so I'm not gonna let a man yell at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's little things like that that will take you a long way. But yeah, with the physical boundaries, I'll keep hitting this table, my bad, y'all. But with the physical boundaries, it's like I said, knowing when to say no. I don't want to be touched right now. I would like for you to respect that. If they don't respect it, then that's when you can make the decision on whether or not you want to cut this person off. It is okay to give the first initial warning, and if it still proceeds to if they continue to keep doing it, then that's when I know, like, I've told you way too many times, you're not respecting what I have going on, you're not respecting me clearly, I'm going to cut you off. Verbal communication or verbal boundaries, when people talk to you in a manner that you don't appreciate, I think sometimes I feel like I'm talking loud. I think sometimes it can have an unsettling feeling within our body. And I think for me, that's when that inner child comes out, because it's like, I don't like being yelled at, and I don't like being degraded or talked down upon. So that's when I have to have the adult me come in and kind of, because you're still actively working with your inner child. Like, your inner child never goes away. So you still have to remind yourself, like, what I tell myself is, I'm protecting you. I am going to make sure that nobody harms you. And I need to make sure that you are safe, that you feel safe, that you feel loved in this environment, and the people that, who are surrounding themselves with you, or who you're surrounding yourselves with, because that's getting out of the victim mentality. You put yourself in situations. And so with that, you have to tell people how to treat you, show people how to treat you. Like, it's gonna feel weird at first, it's gonna feel uncomfortable telling somebody, and a lot of people will try to accuse you of having an attitude. A lot of people will try to tell you that you changed, and they don't know how to get to know the new version of you. And that's fine, because you're gonna reach a point where you don't care. Like, I don't care to make you feel comfortable by making myself feel uncomfortable. That's not happening. How do you actively nurture your relationships instead of being on autopilot? And I don't want to center this around nurturing other people, because this is about us and doing the work internally. And before you can love or whatever anybody else, you need to have love for yourself first. I do think that I want to touch on this topic before it slips my mind. When people say that they want a relationship, and then somebody counters that with, oh, you need to have self-love first before. you do need to have self-love first. However, wanting a relationship does not mean that there is an absence of self-love. Like, the two can coexist. We are literally made to be in communion and community. I say communion. No. Okay. I think that we are made, God literally designed for us to be together. Men and women need each other. All this, oh, I don't need a man, blah, blah. You ain't gonna hear that from me. You're not. I feel like we all need each other. And to any man watching, because I have brothers, it's important for you to advocate for yourself too. I think that a lot of times from the conversations that I've heard from men, it's just like they feel uncared for, they don't feel heard, they don't feel seen. And I do think, in a way, y'all have to get out of that victim mentality too, because if you look at the world that we're living in, the world literally, the world is literally what a man wants. Like, this is a man's world. And women make it go round, of course. However, you guys set the precedent for what's happening. Like, you know, a lot of men say, oh, like, y'all can't compliment each other or give each other hugs without somebody trying to emasculate y'all. Is it emasculate, demasculate, emasculate? Okay. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. Like, and it's literally y'all. Like, if men decided, like, we don't care what anybody thinks, we don't care what this man or this woman thinks, I feel like a lot of stuff would, like, you know, the toxic masculinity and all that stuff would be out the way, out the window, you know? So, yeah, I feel like my mind is all over the place right now with this video, and I don't want it to be all over the place. So I'm still like, But I'm going to put up a list of questions, like, right here. And these are questions that I think that you should ask yourself. Like, what triggers you? When was the last time you felt love? How do you care for yourself? Do you feel like suffering is a normal part of life? Like, these are questions that you ask yourself so that you're able to navigate through the world. I feel like the way that I edit this video, it'll all make sense and it'll all come together. But I think you should, what's your foundation, you know? Too many times, us as women, we play victim a lot. And this is me speaking from, like, past versions of myself. And this is called taking accountability. I see a lot of women who are scorned and who are hurting, and that can turn into manipulation. That can turn into situations where you have two men fighting over you, and ultimately in some situations, some men get their life taken. I think that what initially happens is you have a woman who is full of life, who wants to be in love, and a lot of times women, we romanticize ideas. We romanticize the idea of a person, and then when they are not what we pictured in our mind, we are resentful, we are hurt, and ultimately, it's like, how do you get mad at someone because of a daydream or a fantasy that you've had? And I think that men have a thing of, they also start off wanting to be loved, and then and from every guy, they always have the same story. The woman takes a good guy, or whatever you want to call him, and wreaks havoc in his life. And now this has made him want to be a fuck boy or a hoe, or, he's turned into one of those, red pill, blue pill, whatever shit pill type of guys, and good guys finish last and all this other stuff. And the cycle just keeps continuing. And so now the girl that was a good girl thinks that she has to be a woman who's a hoe, or who is going through all these men because she has attachment problems. Now she's developed attachment problems. Now she's developed abandonment issues. Now she's overly possessive. Now she's going through this man's phone, sitting outside his house, calling up his job, threatening him, keying his car, slashing his tires. And it's just like, mind you, I ain't never done none of that shit. Like, I think it's probably because of the way that my mom has raised me, and I see, like, my mom is not like that. Like, I'm not, if I call you once, you don't pick up, I'm not about to call you again and again and again. Like, that's just not me. And that's okay for some. I mean, that's you, but ultimately, you never want to let anybody get you out of your body. Emotional intelligence is also important. Being aware of how you feel so that you know how to navigate through the situation. Like, I really just want better for y'all. I really do. I feel like it hurts me when I see women. I'm lying. It don't hurt me, but like, I definitely feel compassion for women who cry themselves to sleep, because I've been there. I think 19 was a very pivotal moment. I don't know what it is about 19, but you like start talking. That's when I first started talking to guys, because I had no experience prior to that. And as a late bloomer, what I always prioritize is the fact that I didn't want to get into, I've never been in a relationship. And that's only because I know what I want, for one, but the guys that I was entertaining, they didn't know what to do with me. I've literally been told that, nobody could handle me. I mean, they couldn't handle me, or that I was too good, my heart was too pure, all that type of stuff. Also, it was just the fact that I am still a virgin. So, and I think this will lead to a bigger situation, because this is like the first time that I'm like actively talking about it on YouTube. But I think like traumatic childhood experiences make you, they can make you wary of love. Sometimes women are actively looking for attention from men because they're still trying to heal from something that has happened to them. A lot of women don't have fathers. A lot of women have went through sexual abuse. A lot of women have mother issues, where it could be a thing of, there's a disconnect between the mom and daughter. And that saying is true, that mothers love their sons and raise their daughters because they're trying to get their daughters to understand, like, life ain't always roses and daisies. I get that, but sometimes a daughter just wants to be nurtured, and a lot of times it's situations where parents don't necessarily respect your boundaries. And so that's something that I'm actively learning with my mom. Like, don't talk to me this type of way, because I don't appreciate the fact that you do this. And that's just about having open dialogue and conversations, and you'll get there. So, like I said, don't be hard on yourself. what you can do in the meantime, because this video is hitting on like 20 minutes, it's probably like 25-minute video maybe. Every day. I could make a part 2 to this video too, because I feel like I really didn't get to, but every day, love is a choice. You may not feel like doing it, you may not want to do it, but make sure that you are putting yourself, like, make a goal of putting yourself first in some type of situation every day. Putting yourself first is getting up early in the morning, making your bed so that you don't get back in it, folding your clothes that's been sitting in a corner, reading a chapter of a book, Bible studying, spending time with God, praying, going to the gym because you want to see a better version of yourself, going for a walk, listening to, honestly, this is like the best person to listen to, Cleo Soul. Listen to some Cleo Soul, purge out those emotions, journal, write down how you feel to process it. From another standpoint, before you dress up, before you put on clothes, ask yourself, is this really what I want to wear? Is this, or do I care about the opinions of other people? Am I trying to impress somebody other than myself? Before you get your hair done, is this how I want to look when I go out into the world? And I think at the beginning of this video, I focus more on looks and things. Not saying that the inside is not important, because it definitely is. Like, always be yourself. But your outer appearance is how you appear to the world. It's the first impression that people get of you. How do you see yourself? Art, fashion is an art. And you should be able to explain yourself without opening your mouth. You should be able to tell who you are without verbally expressing it. I've been told many times that I have a resting bitch face, and most times I don't even know it. Or I don't care. Like, I hate when, especially old men, like, they'll be like, you too pretty to not be smiling. And for one, I'm happy on the inside. I don't need to be like this all day. But, and I think that's just like a lame attempt of them trying to flirt sometimes. But I also just feel like you are more approachable when you don't have to be cheesing out, but just have like a little tiny smile, or look like you are open to somebody coming up to you. And I also want to say, start taking yourself out on solo dates. Like, for real. It's very uncomfortable. The first thing you're going to want to do is get on your phone. But if you want to meet people, if you want to meet new friends, you want to meet a man, whatever, a girl, whatever, go to like places that you actually like going to. I'm not a club person. I've never been to a club, so that's not necessarily my scene. But like art museums, little lounges, networking events. What else? You can go to the park. You can go to the mall. I don't think everybody really just go to the mall for real. But yeah, you can go to these different places. Go to pottery classes. Go to aquariums. Spend time with yourself. Spend time with God. And really ask yourself questions. What do you want to know about yourself? Like, is your favorite color still that color? Do you like to read? Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob? Like, ask yourself questions. Like, I think a lot of us are so afraid to talk to ourselves. And I find that in solitude, I really get to know myself a little bit more. I really get to know what I want. And experiences that you encounter with other people, this will also let you know what you like and what you don't like. So write a list. Like, you could be having a friend or a guy or a girl that you was talking to. I like the fact that she was open-minded. I like the fact that he was, like, he worked out. I like the fact that he wrote me love letters. And then you apply it to something and you're like, okay, I want somebody who's open-minded. I want somebody who's athletic. I want somebody who's thoughtful. This will tell you what you want. But it goes beyond that. Did they respect my boundaries? How did they talk to me? It will show you all these things. So then that applies to something else. I want people like this around me. I want people who respect me. I want people who celebrate me. I want people like, and actively nurture the relationships around you too. Like, I like to ask my friends, like, are birthdays important to you? If it's a yes, then I know I need to celebrate you when your birthday comes around. Ask yourself, do I like to feel celebrated when my birthday is around? I love being celebrated. I don't like being sung happy birthday to, because it makes me feel awkward. And I also just seen this TikTok video where the girl, everybody was about to sing happy birthday, and she stopped them and she told them to hold, I think that she was like, everybody take a deep breath and visualize the most, whatever you want out of your life, and then everybody blow out this candle. And I think that's something that I would want to do. I don't want everybody blowing their breath on my candle, but that's definitely something that I would like be cool with, like doing. But yeah, like, get to know yourself. Also, I think a lot of times you have to realize that generations before us did things a lot differently, and a lot of trauma and things can be processed. I mean, it's passed down through the bloodline. And I found that I got to know myself a little bit more when I started asking my parents questions. So it'd be asking my mom, like, how was your pregnancy with me? Like, you know, and you start to see how your parents had a life before you came into their life. And you really start to see them as human beings. And so you're a little bit more gentle on them, and then in return you get a little bit more gentle on yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself is very important. Stop condemning yourself. And that made me think about, you know, how people view God. People think that God is a condemning God, and he's so, you know, now in the Old Testament he definitely was, but the New Testament and just the relationship that you have with God. I am a Christian. However, religion is a system, and it is a spirit. That's the spirit of hypocritical claims. That's the spirit of people thinking that they're better than you. I don't focus on how other Christians view me, because that ain't none of their business. What I got going on, with me and God got going on. I spend my alone time with God. I read my Bible. I do go to church sometimes. I haven't been to church in like a month. No, actually, I haven't been to church in like since maybe August, September. No, not September. Since maybe October. Dang. However, I do attend online church. I haven't physically been in the church since then, but and even then, you still have to read the Bible for yourself. You still have to do a lot of things for yourself. And that's getting out of victim mentality too. So start pushing I feel like self-love isn't just about how you feel. It's about actively doing. So like, that will also push you into learning how to be an adult. Like, learn how to plan your own, appoint your own doctors and dentist appointments. Also, go to the dentist. That's self-love. Like, your teeth is literally connected to everything. Do that. drink more water, read more books, get off that phone. Get off that phone. Comparison is a thief of joy. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop wishing to be somebody else. Just stop. I'm about to go and give me something to eat because this video is now 31 minutes. I'm going to finish editing. This video will be out by tonight when I get off work. And yeah, I just want you to know that you are loved, even if you don't love yourself. And I really just want you to be patient with yourself. Keep actively working on yourself. Keep actively taking accountability for the things that you have done. It's not always somebody else's fault. I hate hearing how, first of all, y'all call everybody a gaslighter and don't even know what that means. Y'all call everybody a manipulator, don't even know what. And you can be a liar too. You can manipulate people too. You can be a gaslighter too. Everybody is not a narcissist. I want y'all to do better for yourself. That's a movie or something my mama had planned. Just be patient. Good things come to those who actively work towards it and who aren't trying to take. If God is controlling it, stop trying to take control of it. Like things that you can control. You can control how you react to things. Everything doesn't need a reaction. And yeah. And people will try to, like, this is something that also popped in my head before I close out this video. When people see you actively working on yourself, everybody is not meant to go with you. Some people are literally just for certain seasons. And you can forgive and move on. You don't have to forgive and reconciliate, like, or reconcile. You don't have to do that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, comment, please, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.